I got Bouken, who's looking at me in behind the set. I love you, man, but I don't want to talk to you right now. I'm not just talking to the world. I'm not just talking to SoundCloud or in YouTube land. I'm also talking to God to answer my prayers. Please help me to understand this damn trailer to Death Stranding. Because this game comes out in November. What's up?
I wish your face cam was turned on when you were making that rant just now.
What's up, everyone? Reckless Fox here, and welcome to episode 74 of the ScrubClub Game Podcast. We are now on the road to the Electronic Gaming Expo 2019, also known as E3. That's right. Today, we're going to be doing a E3 predictions, because this is going to be our last podcast until after E3. So next weekend, there will not be a podcast because I'm going to be at Robo Toy Fest as well as E3. So no ScrubClub Game Podcast next week. But until then...
And to the chagrin of my boss, he did let me have Sunday off, so I will also be at Robo Toy.
Woo! And if you're probably wondering who's the token white boy, we got our honestly the now reigning defending token white boy of the ScrubClub Game Podcast, Bokenkabuto. Bouken, take it away.
Yo, this is Bokenkabuto coming at you live, and may I present the third member of our podcast, Xforce Gaming.
How's it going, everyone? This is Xforce Gamer 88 coming to you live.
Alright then, and my opening comment is, once again, E3. We're on the road to E3. Also, Death Stranding is probably this trailer is one of the weirdest trailers I ever watched, and I will get into that. But before we do all that, as always, we're going to do some housekeeping because we're going to try to get the show on the road. For those of y'all who are in the chat, we greatly appreciate you. Shouts to the chat. We love you. Keep talking. We do all this live here on twitch.tv/recklessfox, my channel. So if you haven't yet, be sure to follow me here on twitch.tv. You can also follow us on SoundCloud, because I understand, some of y'all might be, out on a Friday night, because we are recording and streaming this Friday, May 31st. So this is the final day of May that we're streaming this episode. And you know what? More power to you guys. Thank you. And I understand you probably are doing midnight shifts. Your mama's tripping, but you probably still live at your mama's house, especially if you're 20. I understand that. You're probably married and your kids are acting up. Your wife's asking for some me time and stuff like that. Your baby mama's tripping. Your side chick might be tripping. Don't worry. We got you. We got you guys. Because this episode will be up on SoundCloud at a later date, and by later date, hopefully by tomorrow. And as always, guys, we've always said, closed mouths still get fed. I understand, Reckless, I don't want to say anything weird, because, you might roast me, which, that hurts my feelings, okay? You really think very little of me. Look, we're nice people, okay? We're not going to roast you unless you want us to. And we've always said this. There's no such thing as a stupid...
Unless you're McDonald's, we're not going to roast you.
Yes, and there's no such thing as a stupid question unless you ask it or you respond with a really dumb answer. So please be sure to hit us up on the chat. Now, if you're like, you know what, I still don't, we understand, and we'll always take email. So until that fateful day, you could then now forever email us at ScrubClubGameBookings@gmail.com. That's ScrubClubGameBookings@gmail.com for any questions, comments, search, advice, and business acquires. Love doing business with you indie folks out there. You want to find us on Facebook and Twitter, type in ScrubClub Gaming, and bam, ScrubClub Gaming is all up in your heart. You also find us on our YouTube page, ScrubClub Gaming. I understand that we are a little behind on putting up video versions of the podcast on our YouTube page. Our main editor, GC, who does put the video versions of our podcast, is currently doing finals right now. So we understand, and he will be catching up and putting up every single episode that we have done previous to the previous episode we did on YouTube. And you can also find us on our home base, soundcloud.com/ScrubClubGaming. That's soundcloud.com/ScrubClubGaming. Now, you want to get a hold of any of us, you want to try to TikTok, find your boy, Reckless Fox, Twitter and Instagram at @TheReckless_Fox. Find on my YouTube page, Reckless_Fox, and find all my latest gaming content on twitch.tv/RecklessFox. If I'm not down in the Southtown region flexing Geese Howard style, we're going to go into the Kanto region. Xforce, where can they find you?
They can find me at twitch.tv/XforceGamer88.
And we're going to head all the way to Angel Grove. And Bouken, where can they find you?
You could find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/BoukenKabuto. And you can find me on Instagram at chrono_justice_cosplay. And, just say hi. I'm going to start doing some Game Boy Advance, walkthroughs, mostly Mega Man. Battle Network, starting with number 2, because I just beat number 1 recently, and I just do not want to play that all over again. Can't wait to get to number 5, and back to our regularly scheduled program.
Funny thing is, we were just talking about Mega Man Battle Network today, me and Dildozer, and we're talking about Mega Man NT Warrior as well. But we'll talk about that later. But like I said, let's get started. It's a Friday night. I want to go first. I legit just got home roughly 30 minutes ago. My homie Dildozer and I were out in Santa Monica. We was drinking, me, him, his girl, and our homie Chris Redfield. I'm not gonna say his government name, but Chris Redfield. We went out and we was just having a good time and stuff like that. And I will say this: there's this one Asian market that serves really good food at a very cheap price. Dude, I ate 2 plates of those foods. Somehow I don't have the itis. I'm actually still dressed up right now. So after I'm done with this podcast, I will be streaming a little bit. So you can check out my style. Other than that,
and then you just strip, take a shower, and then come back wearing only towel.
You see, if it wasn't for the fact that if it wasn't for Twitch's new thing about keeping your clothes on, I may have just have done that and just kept like a towel on me. It just looked like Homeboy from the Old Spice commercials.
God, him in that Hulu commercial.
Yes, exactly.
He did a Hulu commercial recently.
Exactly, but other than that, I mean, y'all listen to the Scrub Lounge, which it will both the new episode of the Scrub Lounge and the Scrub Gaming podcast will both be up tomorrow. So don't worry about it. We're both gonna be up simultaneously. Aside from all of that, nothing else is really going on this week. I mean, I just got back into Fightcade, and I will say this: Fightcade, if anyone does not have Fightcade on their computer and they've been wanting to play someone online on X-Men vs Street Fighter or Samurai Showdown 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, download Fightcade. It's free. You just need to find the ROMs for them. That's the only thing. But once you do, you can play with people online. I used to do it back in the day, back in my year 1 days of being on Twitch and stuff. My Solidus Fox 94 days specifically. But other than that, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna hand it to Bouken. Bouken, what's up with you?
Well, let's see. It's week 6 of my sick watch, and by sick watch I mean of me being sick. And I start my first week at my new location, where people are still asking if we have Fortnite stuff. Yeah, I held on to that conversation like you asked me to while we were watching that trailer. And I have a final due tomorrow night that's worth 25% of my grade.
Jesus.
And yeah, my doctor says my illness is accentuated by stress, but ironically, nothing stresses me out more than being sick.
That happens to everyone, dude. I got what you mean, though. Well, hopefully, Dave, you're gonna crush your final tomorrow, so.
Yeah, hopefully, I'm not gonna let my 2 teammates down, and the following week, I'm gonna crush it even harder at Robo Toy Fest.
Oh, Robo Toy Fest? Really?
Yeah, we're both going to Robo Toy Fest tomorrow. Next soon. So yeah. With that being said, well, how about this? Xforce.
No,
go ahead. No, no one cares about that, Xforce. We weren't asking for that. We're asking how's your week been?
Oh, my week? Uneventful.
Good.
Basically.
All right. With that being said, go ahead. So what happened?
Mine?
Yeah.
No, really, it's uneventful. Aside from watching Godzilla.
Oh, how was it?
There's so many there's so many holes in there. It's like I don't know where to start.
Okay, you know what, nigga?
To let a kaiju out.
I just don't know anymore. But it's like I enjoyed the movie. Don't get me wrong, but there's so many physics flaws, so many there, especially with the radiation stuff. It's like, and it's like the movie is very predictable. On top of it, it's like false sense of security.
Okay, hold up. Okay, Xforce, you do realize most kaiju monster movies are always predictable. So what makes this one, oh my god, it's so predictable? Nigga, do you know how many Godzilla movies there are where you can honestly pinpoint the plots? The only one that was like, oh my god, that actually happened was when Godzilla fought the Doroya. and Godzilla actually died at the end.
Oh yeah, but that's the only thing though.
Okay then, so how's it, oh my god, so predictable? Nigga, all kaiju movies are predictable.
Anyway.
What makes us different? What makes it different? No, what makes it different?
Well, I haven't watched any other ones before.
Oh my god! Of course, nigga. Of course you would. Get the fuck. Oh, I'm done with you. All right, you're done. I'm cutting you off. We're about to get into some quick news, real quick.
Let me just say this. Like,
Go ahead.
Let me tell you how predictable kaiju movies are. You know, just to get that out of the way. Rocky loses the fight. Rocky wins the fight. Rocky loses the fight, then wins the fight. Rocky wins the fight. Rocky loses money, then wins the fight. Rocky loses the fight, but wins back his son. Rocky gains an apprentice, but that apprentice loses the fight. And I did not see Creed 2. I'm sorry.
Wow. Okay. Wow, that's too much to cope with, but okay. With all that being said, guys, all right, we gotta get started. We're gonna do some quick news. So I forgot to talk about this on the last podcast, but there were new announcements for Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. So the new characters that will be in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 are Miles Morales Spider-Man. So, you know, Miles Morales Spider-Man. So more Black Excellence. I'm just saying right there. Spider-Gwen as well, which I'm very excited about. Also, they showed off a new trailer. Shut up. They showed off a new trailer for showing off all the X-Men characters. So if you haven't yet, be sure to check it out. And X-Men and Ultimate Alliance 3 will be coming out later this year. I'm pretty excited for it. Now I should have a Wii. I should have a Nintendo Switch by then. A new Star Ocean game is in the works. It's actually a remake. And it will be on both the Nintendo Switch and the PS4. It's Star Ocean's first departure remake for both consoles, and it should be coming out soon. I'll pull up the date on when it comes out. Also, this is a quick update from last week's podcast. It has been confirmed that there will be a brand new Mortal Kombat movie coming out. It's currently in the works as we speak. With that being said, let's get started. So, before we start doing our predictions, let's talk. Here's another update from last week's podcast. The Sonic the Hedgehog movie, you know, the one that's quite possibly going to be one of the greatest movies of all time. You know, it's going to be the Citizen Kane of our generation. You know, it's just going to be amazing. You know, like, it's okay over the fact that they didn't do Sonic right. You know, the animation and stuff like that. And, you know, it's okay that people were bitching about, like, oh my god, he does not look like Sonic. Well, guess what, people? The movie's been delayed to 2020. They're actually in the lab right now trying to do a different they're pretty much, the biggest problem with Sonic was the way he looks. They're trying to fix the way he looks and everything like that. I'm gonna go last. I'm gonna let Bokenkabuto take this. Bouken, what's your thoughts on this?
Well, let's see. Well, I think you put it best when you said no matter how much you sprinkle a turd and no matter how shiny it is, turd is still a turd. But so I really hope the writing is good enough that the only thing that needs to be fixed is just the animation for Sonic. And given that a fan did it for bleeps and giggles, like in a week, you know, just for the trailer parts, I think give him a month. That's all he's gonna need. But the thing is, in Hollywood, you know, you got these laws and contracts saying you have to pay people to do animation stuff, and they have to be part of specific unions and guilds in order for you to hire specific people. So, you know, unfortunately, things cannot be solved by just hiring like a YouTube fan for free, because like a lot of film problems would be solved that way. But so the fan trailer that came out recently shows that the problem with Sonic's animation isn't just with his eyes, it's just a lot of aspects of his body. Like Woody the Woodpecker was a terrible film, but at least Woody actually looked like Woody.
Time out. Hold on. There was a Woody the Woodpecker movie?
Yeah, the only country came out in theaters in was Brazil. And this is an American-made movie, maybe Canadian. It's English spoken, and the only way you could watch it in America is like direct to video or direct to DVD, however you say it. I don't know if both terms are correctly phrased, because but the point is, like, the only country came out in theaters was in Brazil because it was that bad. Was it Colombia? I don't remember. South America for sure, but yeah. But at least, and the movie was bad. I've seen the movie. It was bad. But at least Woody actually looked like Woody.
I just learned something very new today, because I did not know that movie was an actual thing.
Yeah, but yeah, at this point, I don't know how to feel about Jim Carrey as Eggman, just because, like, I don't know. After Kick-Ass 2, like, I don't know. Jim Carrey's acting just went downhill, and I am worried about his mental health as well.
Okay, but we're not talking about Jim Carrey. We're just talking about the movie and the production as a whole.
Yeah.
Like, the movie's done, but now they're delaying it because people were complaining about how Sonic looks.
Yeah, and like I said, like, I just hope that the writing is good enough that fixing the animation for Sonic is the only thing they need to fix, because if the writing is terrible, then even if they fix the way Sonic looks, it's gonna end up like Woody the Woodpecker.
Oh boy.
Go ahead, Xforce.
No, I'm just making comments, don't worry.
No, it's fine. I'm almost done. And basically, like, Detective Pikachu broke the mold against the stereotype that you can't make a good video game-based movie, just like how, like, Alita is, like, one of the few really good anime-based movies. So, like, Sonic the Hedgehog has a lot to live up to, so, I guess 2020, we'll see if the filmmakers for this movie had 2020 vision.
Good one. Xforce, what about you, man?
For which one? For Sonic movie?
Yes.
I don't have hope for it.
Yeah, and this is why you have two optimistic people in the squad. I'm joking. No, I understand why you're not looking forward to it and you don't have hope for it. It's the same way I don't care about this movie. I think this is a movie, honestly, that we did not need. This was Sonic the Hedgehog the movie is a movie I don't believe anyone asked for, and even if people did, this was not how they saw a Sonic movie coming about. I think people want, like, including me, if I were to see a Sonic movie, I was expecting for them to make it in the same means of that Ratchet and Clank movie that came out a couple of years ago, where it was just.
I haven't seen it, but I want to.
Okay, from what I was told, and I saw bits and pieces of it, because I didn't get a chance to see it. It's alright. It follows the first game, but that's about it, or some of the other games. I don't remember, but they're like, it was alright. I mean, the animation was cool. I mean, it wasn't anything special. It was just a game. Like, I could have played the game and stuff like that, if that was the case.
I think certain games, like, no matter how good they are, like, you just could not make a good movie for it. Like, Sonic and Mario probably.
You could actually. It's just how much effort they want to put into it.
Yeah, but also, like, story-wise, because sometimes like certain plots would just not work with certain characters because of the whole mythos behind them. Now, you know what game I think would have been good for a movie though, like, if you wrote it well.
Which one?
Legend of Zelda. I think Legend of Zelda could make a good movie.
If you put Legend of Zelda in the
I have doubts about it.
Of course you do.
I mean, it'd be really difficult because of how much questing he would have to do, but it's not impossible.
I would say like this. Hold on. I would say like this. If you put Legend of Zelda in the hands of, like, a director like a Matt Reeves, and you got someone like a writer like let's say, like, one of the guys who wrote remember that movie Crimson Tide with Denzel Washington and Gene Hackman? Yeah. If you gave that movie into the writing hands of, like, someone like who wrote that movie, or the guy who wrote the script for, let's say, for Captain America Winter Soldier, and you got someone like Matt Reeves or like a J.J. Abrams, or even a what's the nigga who did the Lord of the Rings movies? Peter Jackson. If you got someone like Peter Jackson, I mean, you can
Peter
get
Jackson.
you can get like an epic tale for Legend of Zelda. But it's what Xforce says. It depends on how much time and effort the writers, because it's not just the director. Like you got to keep this in mind. You can have a bomb ass director with like an A-list cast. If your writing is trash, then your movie is
it's only
doomed.
as good as
It's only as good as the weakest link.
yeah.
No, because again, the director is just directing what the writer gave them. It's like Suicide Squad. David Ayer is a great director, and the cast for Suicide Squad was actually not bad, except Jared Leto. I would have gotten someone else to be Joker. But the writing that was given for that movie, because of the amount of developmental hell Suicide Squad was in, it's the train mess of a movie that it is. Don't get me wrong, I like Suicide Squad, but I can even admit that movie was a mess. But
the way I see it is like in a movie, you got a holy trinity. You got the writer, the father, the actor, the son, and the director, the Holy Spirit. And then you got all these other people who are the seraphims. You got all these other
the seraphim. Are you serious? We're throwing out the seraphim now.
Yeah. You got the seraphims who are like the best boys, the craft, the sound mixing and stuff like that. And the thing is, you need all of these things to be good to make a godly movie. But even if you want a mildly decent movie, you need at least 2 of the 3 parts of the Holy Trinity in order to work good. Like you could have a bad script, but if you have like a good direction and good acting, at least the movie will be visually stunning despite how bad the plot is. For example, if you got good writing and good directing, then you might be able to hide the terrible acting. Just to give an example.
No. I say that because if you ever watch Bram Stoker's Dracula, Keanu Reeves, I love you, Keanu, but bro, you sound like a surfer British dude trying to talk to Dracula. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying.
See, that's just an issue of miscasting. But the thing is, like, the director could have done more with.
Right,
like with directing Keanu specifically.
Right, but okay, but here's my point of view, and then we're gonna move on afterwards. I said this before, and I said this before many times on my streams. I said this during one of our recorded podcasts. Here's my opinion about the whole issue with Sonic the Hedgehog the movie. I still think it should have came out this year. You'd want to know why?
Just because
Bouken, this is why we pay you the big bucks, man. Paramount should have just taken their L. Look, I understand a lot of people did not like the design of Sonic. I completely understand. But you delaying this movie, legit
delaying the inevitable.
You're delaying the inevitable, but you also just wasted the animators' time. And because you gotta keep in mind,
the studio's money.
You gotta keep in mind the animation team. Look, I don't know what those guys had to deal with, but I'm pretty sure the amount of scrutiny they have dealt with about the controversy about how Sonic looks really makes them look bad. And again, I really do think Paramount should have just taken the L, because let's just face it, Paramount's been taking L's left and right. I mean, Monster Trucks is a good example. Did we have to talk about Monster Trucks? I don't want to talk about Monster Trucks, but y'all remember Monster Trucks, so...
Yeah, I haven't seen Monster Trucks, but I know what happened.
Yes, like that movie was supposed to come out back in 2015, and it got delayed twice, and it came out in 2017, early 2017, and look what happened with that movie. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but I will say this, to play devil's advocate.
Go ahead.
If I may for the thing about delaying the movie is, like, while yes, if the writing is bad, like no amount of fixing the animation would help the movie. But I will say this: for the first thing is time of revision. If you take the time to revise one part of the movie that came out wrong, that gives you time to check out. Hey, maybe we got some other things wrong. Let's double check our draft before we finalize it. So
right.
If they find issues with writing or directing in the process while they're waiting for the animation to improve, they might fix those problems as well, and we probably will be none the wiser. The other thing is customer feedback. Like if you know how many people got happy when they heard, oh, they're actually listening to us. They're actually going to revise Sonic the Hedgehog. I think by them saying this, it's going to put more butts into the seats of the first screening. Will it save the movie? Probably not. But as far as the number of people who are going to watch it on opening weekend will go up at least, and that is just the publicity that the movie needs.
Here's my question,
Boken. Just temporary. Long term might not fix the movie, but short term it's going to put more butts in the seats, and who knows, publicity of having the movie be like top 5 or top 6 like for the opening weekend might put more people to sit down to see it on second week. But as long as they don't listen to the negative critiques. Again, those are just my 2 points.
Boken. Here's my question for you. Here's my question. If that's the case, do you think them doing this may just put pressure on Hollywood to start listening to people's reactions to certain things?
If the gamble pays off, most certainly. And because one of the big problems with Hollywood, especially with TV shows and movies and stuff, is like they've lost their ability to listen to constructive criticism, especially from fans, because like especially when it came to Game of Thrones, like if you heard like what Sophie Turner said.
And I'm gonna chop it from right there about Sonic, but overall I would say this. Even again, hopefully I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong, because I don't want a movie to fail, obviously. I really hope this movie does knock it out of the park, and if delaying this movie in order to fix their mistake, cool. Do I think Paramount should have just taken their L? Yes, just take your L and keep going, bro. Just saying. But if this means that we're gonna Hollywood will actually start listening to how people's feedback and stuff like that, because like honestly, this was constructive criticism, and we've seen plenty of videos at this point of people redoing the way Sonic looks and stuff like that. We've seen it, okay?
And some of it still is not working though, so keep that in mind. But it's a little less jarring than the one in the trailer, though. It still could be a lot better overall, though.
Well, dude, you gotta keep it. You can't blame them. They were working with what they got. Okay.
The Paramount or the fans?
the YouTuber fans who try to redo it.
Yeah, for the fans, it could have been worse. But they're working with what they have, which makes sense.
I get what you mean. All right. Well, that being said, let's move on to the next piece of news. So, okay. I want to talk about this one first, just to get it out the way. So, a new loot box, loot boxes could potentially be made illegal, thanks to a new bill which was officially introduced. Introduced with bipartisan support, and this is coming from GameSpot. This was actually written last week. I think Xforce is the one who posted it. So Xforce, what the hell's going on with this new bill that bipartisan is supporting? Go ahead.
Okay. Let's hold on for a moment. Let me check. But with the loot box thing, okay. Let me check. Okay, there we go. Okay.
Also real quick. So the new Sonic movie comes out next year in February. All right, continue.
Okay. So the new loot box bill, basically, they're trying to make it as illegal because I had to read it over again because it's been a while since I posted, and I was busy with other stuff.
Okay, so to make a long story short, I can help you out with it. So
yeah,
pretty much it's trying to keep from kids from doing loot boxes and stuff like that, because they believe that loot boxes will cause gambling addiction and stuff and yada yada yada. Pretty much the exact same stuff that people have been trying to pour out in the news media and stuff like that, saying how loot boxes can commit to early stages and addictions to gambling. This new bill is trying to slice that in half. And if I'm reading this correctly, and this is coming from GameStop, it's pretty simple. Video game companies shouldn't put casinos targeted to kids in their games. Proud of this bipartisan, which is which was Republican U.S. Senator Josh Hawley today, which he officially announced it in May. The bill asks Congress to regulate some pay-to-win microtransactions in video games, while it also seeks a ban on loot boxes for games that are designed to appeal to people under the age of 18. Specifically, the full wording in the bill states that it would become illegal for publishers to release a minor-oriented game that features pay-to-win microtransactions or loot boxes, while it also seeks to previously released games from receiving updates that add such mechanics. You can actually read more about this bill on GameSpot. And I'm Xforce. Boken, I'm gonna quickly give you the floor. What's your thoughts on this? Go ahead, quickly.
Loot boxes is a really gray area in so many ways.
It's not a gray area. It's not a gray area. It's that.
To some degree, it is because let me explain. Here's what would be the problem with getting rid of the loot. And the thing is, I say it, I'm not a fan of loot boxes in general, but here's the issue. Here's the problem with getting rid of loot boxes. Is that most games are either free or really cheap. Specific examples: Overwatch and Fortnite, because they expect to make up for any possible losses in making the game free or cheap by using loot boxes, so that if people use microtransactions, it would make up for, the financial losses of not, charging more for the game initially. So if you get rid of loot boxes, you could probably expect the makers to make the games more expensive from initial purchase. But on the other hand, one thing that I would like about getting rid of the loot boxes is now, in order to actually get the skins you want or whatever other goods you get out of loot boxes, is hopefully now you have to do some actual tasks in the games, based on skill and stuff, to actually earn the items you want, instead of just spending in-game money or microtransaction money in what is essentially lottery. Because for example, Overwatch, you have to do so many grinding to get that one legendary skin during special events, but it's so nice. It would be so nice to get that skin by actually beating some the seasonal story mode, or you doing a certain getting a certain amount of kills as a certain character or whatever, just doing things the hard way, so that when you show that skin, it's proof that you did something worth having that skin, and not just, oh, I just had a ton of money. Again, this bill, just like anything else in Congress, it's still just a bill. You need 67% of Congress to approve, and then 51% of Senate, and then the president has to write up on it, and the bill becomes a law. So regardless of what side you're on, remember, you have that to deal with.
Right. Xforce, what's your thoughts on this? Go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna do some corrections on Boken's part. It's not a good. It's a service. It's a service, sadly. So even though you want to treat it as a good, it's not really a good in this context. It's a service. It's a service, and they can shut it down at any time. But that's aside from the point. Now, in terms of the loot box situation, what he said about it being gray, no, it's not a gray area. It's a straight up. It's clear cut in my view. Why is it clear cut? You're basically paying for something that you personally want. While it may not necessarily. Now, here's the thing, though. It doesn't affect anything in game. At least in the context of the loot boxes, that's just purely cosmetic. With that said, is it pay to win? No. But because there's a want, that's where it becomes the responsibility of the consumer. Now,
I agree.
Now we're going to use EA. We're going to use EA's Battlefront for this one. Battlefront 2 as an example. That one actually does have pay-to-win mechanics, so that's clear cut. That's a pay-to-win mechanic that is not guaranteed, and so that's a big problem in this one. And when they're talking about kids and such, no, it's not the kids that are. It's not the kids that are actually buying, because they're going to get in trouble by their parents if that's the case.
Yeah, but there was this one story one time where a kid was playing Clash of Clans on their parents' phone, and they actually spent upwards of $10,000 in microtransactions, even though the parents were not aware of it until they got their phone bill. And of course, because it's a microtransaction, the phone company or the game company, I don't remember which one's responsible for it, cannot refund those $10,000.
See, that's the parents' fault. If that's the case.
Yeah, it is the parents' fault.
It's an issue with the parents for being irresponsible. But I will say this: like, I think if anything, the game should have an option. To lock microtransactions at the discretion of whoever owns the game. So like for them to choose to lock the microtransactions, so that like for example, if it's a phone game and and it's a parent giving their kids their phone to play on that game, like it would give an option to lock microtransaction, like a parental feature. If anything, I'd say that's a compromise at best.
Actually, they already have it in place already.
I don't know which games do or don't, so I apologize.
It's not per game basis. It's actually they actually have example for Apple. They actually did put it in place where, this thing has in-app purchases. You want to disable it for that one, and then you can do that from there. They actually have that option specific for on a per game basis.
I would say this, and we can move on afterwards. Here's my issue with 67% of the Senate has to agree on this bill, right? Congress.
I also need to.
No.
Representatives.
I need to interject with this one for in terms of the politics side of things. Okay. Now, this is one of those rare cases where both the Democrats and the Republicans are not necessarily the majority of them, but it's one of those cases where there's two Democrats and a Republican working together to getting the bill passed, at least. But they have to show proof that it is a major issue, which is not going to happen, actually.
Yeah, because the majority of the Senate and the House
don't even know what it is.
Don't know what games are. This is what I was trying to say before you came in. But let me finish just real quick. All right. Here's my issue. Okay, look, I completely understand if there needs to be a new bill to stop people from doing loot boxes and just stop loot boxes in general, because we've all agreed loot boxes are annoying. Understandably, if it's for cosmetics and stuff. Listen, hold up.
Okay,
listen,
my bad.
If it's for cosmetics and stuff like that, Xforce, you and I have both agreed. Cosmetics is fine. Cosmetics is nothing as long as it's not affecting the game or affecting how the game is played. Like if you need you want to get the next chapter of this game, you fork over another $10. As long as it's not doing something like that, I understand. I'm not talking about expansion
or
packs,
Legacy Wars.
Yes, exactly like Legacy Wars. How Legacy Wars is like, you want to use a Power Ranger, you got to pay this amount of money for a chance to get it through a loot box.
And this Power Ranger is super strong. They don't even need to level him up in order for him to win. But in order to get him, you have to fork over $30 just to get him.
Exactly.
And yeah, I've checked, $30.
Exactly. My whole thing is that even though I know a lot of people have been like yes, Congress is coming in. Here's the thing though. Congress, the U.S. Senate, and the House of Representatives, what's the one thing they've been trying to do for the longest since Mortal Kombat? Regulate video games.
Ban in general.
Exactly. Yes. We're now trying to give them the power to regulate video games for us. If this bill passes, this is just a small step of that thing, of this becoming a reality. Jack Thompson. Hold up. Jack Thompson, a guy I actually do respect to a certain degree. I understand why he is how he is. It's because of the whole Columbine, not just Mortal Kombat and with the impact that Mortal Kombat left in the gaming industry in the 90s. But then you have the Columbine incident and stuff like that, which was a very tragic thing to happen. And due to the nature, a lot of media that we consumed back then and even now was to blame for music, video games, the shows we watch, the movies we watch, it was all blamed for. But for some reason, in all the forefront, video games were always involved in the conversation because of what we play and stuff like that. First of all, anything we play, rated M games as a whole, there's a reason why the ESRB rating was created. So that way, parents can observe what games kids play. That way, you don't have another incident where a kid is playing Grand Theft Auto and he tries to reenact it and stuff like that. The ESRB
Oh my God.
rate,
One time, a 9-year-old tried to buy GTA 5.
Exactly.
While I was at a GameStop.
Exactly. And the ESRB rating,
And his mom was there, and she almost bought it for him.
See, exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. The ESRB rating was made, and people, for some reason, adults in our generation and this generation still don't understand. The ESRB rating was created because of the outcry the media, the government, and everything like that had on Mortal Kombat.
Here's the thing,
wait, I'm not done. Hold on. I'm almost done. The ESRB rating was made that way. Parents can observe what their kids were playing. And for some reason, 20 plus years later, people forgot about that. And I'm not just talking about the ESRB rate. I'm talking about parents observing what their kids are playing. If you know if that game is gonna ask you for money for like cosmetics or the new weapons and upgrades and all that crap, it's up, and you are under the age of 18, or I would say 16, because 16, 17-year-olds do have jobs and stuff, and they understand to some extent. It's up to the parents to make sure their asses don't go broke because their kid decided to spend $100 on Clash of Clans or Candy Crush. It's up to the parents.
10,000.
I'm just saying in general, but that's my point of view. I'll continue, but Xforce, go ahead.
Here's the thing, though. The ESRB is actually made by the game companies themselves.
Exactly. But you remember, because of the public outcry that happened after Mortal Kombat, and the government almost stepped in as well.
And you know what I like about the ESRB? Like, it doesn't just say what age group it's made for. If you look right next to it, it shows the content. It shows a list of of things included in the game that gave it that rating. So like, even if a parent gives their kid an M-rated game, at least a parent, if they actually read the ESRB, they at least know which M-rated games to give them and which ones not to give them at their own discretion.
Exactly.
But again, it's the responsibility of the parent to actually read the goddamn thing, which not all parents do.
Sounds about right.
I would say this.
Parenting at its finest.
Yeah, like I freely admit, this is just me. I did play rated M games when I was a kid, but I was limited to the certain games that I was able to play. Mortal Kombat, I was able to play Mortal Kombat because
and for me, it's like I played Killer Instinct as well and Blood Rain.
Yeah, and
Mortal Kombat at age 4.
Exactly. Well, I played Mortal Kombat at like 5 or 6, which is a no-no, but my grandmother, God rest her soul, who raised me and my brother, she knew, and she's like, what's this you're playing? My brother would even observe what I'm playing, because my brother was, he was the only man in the house, so he would see what I'm playing and stuff, and he'd be like, you can't play that, or yada yada yada. There are certain games that I was able to play, like let's say, like Rainbow Six, because of the fact that my grandmother had me watch Law and Order and CSI for me to understand what goes on in the world, even if it is fictitious. Law and Order, she wanted me to watch because she didn't want me to end up like the kids in Law and Order and stuff like that. But hence the reason why I was able to play like Rainbow Six or Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat is just cartoon violence. It wasn't until Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto was a no-no in my house. Personally, it wasn't until I was up a certain age to understand that this is fake and stuff. Like I said, the reason why we say parents is because parents, if you want to let your kid play video game, cool, do that at your own discretion. But as a parent, you should tell your kids, yo, this is fictitious. Do not do this in real life, or I'm gonna take the game away from you. And there you go. The whole thing with this bill, this could be a stepping stone, and I don't want this to happen, but this could potentially be a stepping stone for the
Let's
house.
put it this way.
What? Go ahead.
The worst case scenario is when the government steps in. That's worst case scenario.
Yes.
That's for
Wait,
at least
talk-
specifically for our video games, because if we cannot stop police are on the industry itself, and the government steps in, game over.
Yeah,
Actual game over.
guys, in the Twitch comments, Todd Geekly says the ESRB will go by the wayside eventually, as did the comics code, which began in the 50s and was abandoned in the 2000s. Loot boxes are just bad all around, and I don't think at the moment ATM content, mature or not, is an issue that the government is looking at.
The thing is that as soon as you insert, but it's for the, but think of the children, this shit is not gonna be taken seriously.
And remember, a good 95% of the House of Representatives, the U.S. Senate, and Congress don't know a damn thing.
Let's put it this way: they're all old prunes.
They're all old white people who don't understand.
It's not just dude.
I'm not saying it's in a racist manner, Xforce, but you know that I'm telling the truth. They don't know.
Yeah,
they don't know at all.
But still, they legitimately don't know at all. But we have lobbyists that are just. But then we have lobbyists, and the lobbyists are feeding them false information. Like, it makes me think that this is a whole mess, honestly.
We can go on and on about this. For real. But I know we gotta move on. But
but overall, this is broken. If this was a game, this needs a patch fix right away on all fronts, and not just a day one. And it cannot be done in one day. It has to be done in 2 months' time.
Remember
all the bug back.
Xforce. Remember back in the day when a game came out, it was complete, no matter if it was good or bad. Petrovich Farm remembers.
But here's the thing: patches are fine because they help improve the game.
Expansions are fine. Expansion packs are fine too. Let's say that right now. We don't hate expansion packs, because expansion packs have been out for decades.
Here's the thing, though. Everything is technically a microtransaction. Like, at least if you buy post game, it's a microtransaction, technically. Now, with that said, there's expansion packs, which a lot of people will safely say they want that one. It adds to the game and such, and it's done post launch. That's what everyone's fine with that one. Because
I'll say this. I'll say this quickly about expansions. I want to clearly define what an expansion is to people like Bethesda and EA. An expansion means you could play the whole game without getting the expansion, complete the entire story without buying it, and you shouldn't have to stop at a quote-unquote cliffhanger and then get the rest of the game as quote-unquote an expansion.
Talk your shit, Bouken. Go ahead, boy. Let them know, boy.
Now, let me give you an example of an expansion done right. Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U. Every Mario Kart game up to the 7th game has a total of 32 tracks divided into 8 different Grand Prix of 4 tracks. Mm-hmm. That's how it's always been. And guess what? When Mario Kart 8 first came out, same thing. 32 tracks divided into 8 Grand Prix of 4 courses each. Then, as a separate transaction, which is optional, you get it's 2 separate two separate expansions. Each comes with 8 additional tracks, which means this is separate from the 32 you have to get minimum for it to be a proper game. So for $11, you get a total of for $11 additional dollars, you get an additional 16 tracks, which is practically half of the game. So you're getting you're getting an additional 50% of the game for only 1/6 of the price of the actual game, and that's not counting the necessary amount for the actual game. So it's an actual expansion.
DLCs are DLCs. microtransactions are, and I'm trying to correct myself for this one. Microtransactions are pretty much small knickknacks and such, typically consumables or boosters.
Right.
Expansion packs are pretty much entirely new content for the game that could that adds something to it. Now, which a lot of people will agree that is perfectly fine. Now, with that said, when it comes to loot boxes, do it at your own discretion. Especially, do it at your own discretion for that one. Of course, if you have gambling tendencies in the first place, then you really need to see a therapist for that one, because it actually does present some gambling tendencies. But they don't cause it though. If you have gambling tendency in the first place, it's not gonna matter at all.
All right,
I'm just saying.
I would say this in conclusion. Like I said, people, I understand once again. If you are trying, I understand that we don't want microtransactions no more or loot boxes, but the last thing we want to do is put it in the government's hands. The government's been trying to get rid of video games since 1993, and the ESRB rating was the only saving grace. Let's start.
Which is done by the game companies themselves.
The gaming industry
they collectively want to make it better.
The gaming industry as a whole made the ESRB rating to save their butts and to make sure none of this crap happened again. Okay, let's do better. Let's, for the love of God, let's not ask for the government's help, because these niggas will legit try to take down the gaming industry. We know that for sure. Okay, and parents.
I'm looking at Australia.
Hold on. And parents, let's start doing better. If your kid is trying to play Grand Theft Auto 5 and they 6-7 years old, you say, hell no, boy, you better go play Smash Bros. Ultimate or something like that. You better not come over here with that no more. Don't do it. Parents, everywhere. Let's start doing better. People, gamers as a whole, let's start doing better. And let's keep making this money. Let's go.
It's not going to happen, though.
Hey, I'm trying to be a look, Xforce, once again, you are the most pessimistic nigga in the squad. I'm the most optimistic nigga. Okay, we're yin and yang, but I believe that by the grace of God, I believe that somehow, some way, niggas can do better. I hope and prayed every night that shit does happen, nigga.
What if they fail your expectations?
Then I was wrong, nigga, and I fairly admit that. But until then, I'm gonna keep praying, nigga, because I don't want the government to take control. I'm done talking about it. Let's talk about Death Stranding, because I need to talk to someone about this stupid ass. No, god damn it, don't you dare leave! Don't you dare leave!
I gotta go.
No, nigga, we're almost done. We're almost done, nigga.
I need to prepare for tomorrow.
Oh my god, fine, go get the fuck out of here.
All right, see you, man.
You got 13 minutes.
Let me read this. Microtransactions are killing the nature of game development and has begun to turn some DLC to feel as though they are microtransactions. Oh yeah, no, talk equally. You're correct on that. Trust me, you are, dude. You are. But let's talk about this Death Stranding trailer. Let's move on to something positive, or weirdly positive. So the Death Stranding trailer just dropped about a day and a half ago. I'm gonna go first. This game comes out in November. Bruh. I don't know what I watched. I don't think I honestly was not high or drunk enough, and I only do one thing and I don't do the other. Spoiler, I don't smoke, but I do.
Should I repeat the comment I made earlier at the beginning of the podcast?
Hold on, let me just try it. Before you do, let me try to finish what I'm trying to say. Let me put it like this. Death Stranding, the trailer pretty much was Daryl Dixon taking care of a fetus that's still in this little tube thingy-majiggy, and Caesius from Doctor Strange, Mads Magellan is the main bad guy or whatever. I don't know what the hell's going on in this trailer. All I heard was America is collapsed, or we gotta make America or something like that. I don't know, bro. I don't know what the hell I watched. That's all I have to say. Boken, go ahead.
I've said I think this is the third time I'm saying this, but I've seen every single game trailer or skit of every single episode of Cinematheque Nocturnal Emission. So has Fox. but mostly me, I've seen every single episode of Cinematheque Nocturnal Emissions. I've seen some of the weirdest shit on that show. Heck, that show is how I was introduced to Pyramid Head, just to give an example. And let me tell you, this game trailer makes less sense than anything I've seen in that entire show on G4.
I don't know. Look, Cult of Kojima, before y'all actually start tripping out, be like, you don't understand, like, you don't understand, like, the concept, you don't understand the deep, no, shut the hell up, okay, listen to me. Unless you can tell me what the hell I just watched, I don't want to hear any excuses, or I don't need to hear you niggas do damage control. I don't know what happened. I'm not saying it's bad, I'm not saying it's good. I don't know what Kojima was smoking. I want a little hit of that though, because I don't know what the hell I saw. I really don't. I need someone in the chat, someone on SoundCloud or someone on YouTube, if they listen to this recording on YouTube later on, please tell me what the hell I watched in that Death Stranding trailer, because I don't know what I watched. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish your rant.
I need some help. I'm about to do my Stephen A. Smith rant. I'm having a very bad day watching this damn trailer for Death Stranding, and I got Bouken, who's looking at me in behind the set. I love you, man, but I don't want to talk to you right now. I'm not just talking to the world. I'm not just talking to SoundCloud or in YouTube land. I'm also talking to God to answer my prayers. Please help me to understand this damn trailer to Death Stranding, because this game comes out in November. What's up?
I wish your face cam was turned on when you were making that rant just now.
I don't understand. I need help. Please. Talk Geekly, Bokenkabuto, GC, Cece, Jen, whoever is out there. Relic Hunters, Chief Ducky, Arcadium.
Wait, I think
Essentials,
Geekly's trying to answer your prayers right now.
Okay, here. Seems like people
are created through science. Society fractured. The government is holding something, and a group that looks like they are the bad guys are probably actually the good guys looking to save the world from the evil government. Maybe, but agreed. Trailer's still weird. Well, at least the three of us are on the same boat. The trailer is really weird. Let's see. I'll say this as a film critic, not as a game critic. And you know, like, I'm not a resident gamer of this podcast. I'm the resident film guy of the podcast. And I'm gonna say this.
ScrubClub movie podcast coming soon, starring Bokenkabuto. Continue.
But yeah. So here's the thing. Like on a cinematic standpoint, I'll say this. One of my biggest issues with the trailer is sometimes to make a good trailer, you should show less stuff. Sometimes, because when you show too much content, it leaves the audience more confused rather than more excited. And for me, like, I feel like if they left out certain elements of the trailer, I would have been more excited to see, like, what's the story, how is this panning out. And one of my and on a technical side, one of my issues with the trailer is it just, like, especially the ending, just too long. There were too many endings to this trailer. It is the game trailer equivalent of watching Return of the King. Like, you should make the ending short and sweet, you know, leave the audience excited. Here's an example of a good game trailer that's really short. Bayonetta 3. And this isn't me kissing Bayonetta's feet like I always do. This is like an actual cinematic thing.
Right.
There's a lot of ambiguity of what's happening, and it ends with Bayonetta being ripped in half, and you see a mysterious figure, and that's it. The whole trailer is like 9 seconds. That's it. And that makes me freaking excited to see what happens next. What is this figure? Why is Bayonetta cut in half? That sort of thing. And like this trailer, you know, basically the lesson this trailer needs to learn is sometimes less is more.
I'm gonna say this. I'm like, oh, hold on. The trailer, like someone in the chat is saying, was 8 damn minutes. I've never seen a trailer for a video game be 8 minutes long. Bruh.
No, I agree. Like, that trailer was too long.
The trailer to Death Stranding was 8 minutes long, dude. I don't know why. I don't know who the hell over at Kojima Productions thought an 8-minute trailer would be a good idea. I just need to understand what the hell's going on with the story, okay? I need you to at least tell me what the hell is going on. I need to know what the hell is going on, because all I see is Daryl Dixon babysit a damn fetus the entire trailer and do a Superman punch on a nigga in a hazmat suit what appears to be a staff lightsaber, and then fight freaking Psycho Mantis' children. I need your help, please.
Okay, in Bayonetta, the entire prologue level, which consists of 3 fights and 3 cinematic cutscenes, is shorter than this whole trailer. 3 cinematics and 3 fights and 3 fights is shorter than this trailer.
I think I'm done talking about Death Stranding because my head hurts talking about it. So let's move on. Let's move on to another trailer, the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare game. Now, this game has been in the talks for the past day as well. The game, it's good. It's just called Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Yes, that's all it's called, Modern Warfare. And the game has been announced to have no Game Pass, so no Season Pass, and it's going to be the first Call of Duty game to be cross multiplayer. Bouken, I know you're not a big Call of Duty fan, but what's your thoughts? Go ahead.
Well, I'll say this. My thoughts on the trailer: short, sweet, straightforward, unlike something else. Yeah, I'm gonna beat up that first trailer like the printer from Office Space, but back to Call of Duty. It's like, yeah, I'm not a fan of Call of Duty, but I like the fact that it's cross multiplayer because some people, unlike me, like to play first-person shooters more than I would, and especially if it's a game like Call of Duty, because Call of Duty is right now iconized as the big FPS game of the last 20 years, and you know, like, one of the biggest gripes people have when it comes to any game when it's on multiple platforms is, I can't play with my friends because they're on other platforms. Like, I'm playing Call of Duty on PlayStation, my friend's playing Call of Duty on Xbox, so we can't play each other. Heck, I have friends who are pissed at me for having Overwatch on PC because I can't play with them on PS4. Guys, I don't even have a PS4. But yeah, so the fact that it's cross multiplayer means, you know, like, you could, like, you know, there's more versatility, you know, like, to play with your friends. But, you know, the one recurring issue with cross multiplayer is, if PC is allowed to be included in the cross multiplayer, how will this affect, you know, PC versus console multiplayer? Because, like, as you know, like when you have the point and click, you know, it's a lot easier than rolling the D-pad and then pushing the R trigger, or whatever you use for the trigger, and, like, you know, heck, that's why Overwatch is on cross multiplayer, even on Overwatch League. You know?
Right.
So, yeah. So, you know, there's the pros and cons. You know, as long as, you know, we're all, like, just, like, being a community and just, like, having fun together with our friends, that's what's important. But I will say this, though, because of some certain things related to Bethesda that I discussed in yesterday's live stream, I miss the good old days back when you could do, like, single player offline or just local multiplayer. Just in general, this has nothing to do with Call of Duty, but, you know, I just miss being able to do stuff local multiplayer. You know, have your friends actually come over to your house and hang out together physically while also in game. Yeah, exactly. Eat pizza together, have fun, make jokes at each other, and then play punchies when one person wins and the other loses.
I'm gonna say this. because I'm not the biggest Call of Duty fan. That's actually GC. GC loves Call of Duty.
Yeah.
The game comes out in October. I want to see. It's unfortunate that Activision is not going to be at E3 this year, as well as EA and Sony. But because I would love to see what they're going to do with it, and it does suck because of the fact that last year I actually got the chance to play Call of Duty 4. I waited in line and actually reserved a spot to play the game as well. It wasn't that bad. Like I regret not buying the game when I had the money to get it. I actually still might buy Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say this. It's gonna be really interesting because of the fact that it's gonna be the debate: who's better, what's better, using a controller to play people on FPS, or using a mouse and keyboard. This is gonna probably put that. It's probably gonna finally answer that question. Now that Call of Duty is the first in a AAA game to be cross multiplayer. It's one of the first. I mean, don't get me wrong. Street Fighter V was cross multiplayer as well with PC and PS4. And I know for a fact that Halo. Well, no, Halo's not going to be cross multiplayer. I'm not sure, but this is going to be the first in its line to do that.
If you don't mind me interrupting,
go ahead.
Yeah, but the thing about Street Fighters is that it doesn't require aiming. Like that's the thing. Like because Street Fighters it's button mashing. Basically, I mean, not so much like mashing the A button all the time, but like mashing like buttons in certain combinations, and like that's the extent of the needed gameplay for Street Fighters. So there isn't much of a, should I say, ping advantage between PC versus a console. But there is a ping advantage when it comes to like FPSs, because you do need to carefully aim the crosshair and then fire. And the thing is, the crosshair like reacts more accurately when you have a mouse as opposed to having an analog stick.
Right.
And my use of the word ping, I use from the word gamer starring Gerard Butler, because like that is like the best way I could like.
I still have not seen that movie either.
Oh, it's really fun.
All right. But
I mean, the first time you watch it's really fun, but like consecutive times, it's like plot holes,
I would
watch it at least once.
I will.
Ludacris was pretty good in the movie, though.
Does he play himself?
No, but I mean, he barely shows up in the movie, but like he plays his character well. Is all I'm gonna say.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna say this, and then we'll move on. I can't wait to see what happens, honestly. I'm looking at the chat real quick. I think it isn't going to really matter for most gamers, since Fortnite has been doing it for a while. PC gamers will just always have a tech advantage, but you will still have those console gamers who are pro level and can give the PC gamer a run for their money, if not just whoop their ass outright. Captain Price is back, so this is a complete reboot to the franchise. Well, like I said, we'll see. And it not really with Fortnite, because keep in mind, Sony was not going to do cross multiplayer with Nintendo and stuff like that. Like, Sony's been on one for a while. It wasn't until I think the last show we did where it was confirmed that the next games and the next gaming consoles from Microsoft and Sony, they are talking about doing a cloud service together. So they're kind of merging to do cross multiplayer and try to do stuff for the next console generation, which is supposedly should be out either next year or the following year. So there you have it. And our last piece of gaming news that shocked the world, the Avengers game, which we all thought was dead and buried because, nigga, no one was talking about this game. I even brought it up on my last video last year, my top 5 games I want to announce for E3. This was my number 1 game that I wanted someone to talk about over at Square. And of course, last year's conference was pretty much a bag full of rusty nails, and then you get body slammed on it. Well, the Avengers game is being revealed at E3 2019. This is coming from PC Gamer, and it is called Marvel's Avengers. Square Enix will reveal the game, the Avengers game, which is named Marvel's Avengers, and will be live presented Square, and this is coming from PC. I'm gonna read a little bit of this. Square has confirmed that the worldwide reveal of the Avengers game is happening at E3 2019. It was revealed via the game's official Twitter account, which you can follow at Plays Avengers, where it's confirmed that you'll see the reveal during the Square Enix live event at E3, which starts at 6 p.m. Pacific time on June 10th. What's seemingly the name of the game is Marvel's Avengers, which pretty much makes sense. And in case you were not okay, blah 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 blah. And there you go. I don't know what else to say about it other than yay, about damn time. This game is still alive and kicking. It's not dead. Now I'm wondering, is this game gonna be open world? Is this game gonna play more like Final Fantasy 15, or is the game gonna play like Marvel Spider-Man that came out last year? I don't know. I just hope. I think the best question is this. I'm gonna ask you, Bouken. What Marvel character do you think should get their own solo game, and why? And just briefly summarizing in like a minute. Go ahead. 1 minute.
I think Doctor Strange should have one.
Okay, stop. Okay, real quick, I'm gonna stop you right there. I'm not even gonna go next if that's the case, because I've been asking for a Doctor Strange game after I beat the Spider-Man game. Continue. 1 minute. Go.
Because I feel like Doctor Strange doesn't really get enough attention. I mean, like, for the last 20 years, didn't really get much attention up until like suddenly, except for like the brief moment where Doctor Strange had his own movie. And that was really briefly, and then the memes about him seeing the ending 14 million and 7 times, not spoiling the ending. But beyond that, like, Doctor Strange, like, never got any kind of attention, whether it's like through like TV shows, comics, games, etc. Especially games. And the thing is, like, we've seen like X-Men games, we've seen Spider-Man games, we've seen Avengers games, but not really so much with Doctor Strange. And I think there's so much potential we could do with Doctor Strange, because like the different kinds of magic he could use, the time magic, the mirror magics, and all sorts of other forms of magic. And, you know, just like, I would love to see Doctor Strange get some more love. I mean, like, if there were like any other superheroes, like maybe Ant-Man, Hawkeye, Falcon, basically like the less mainstream heroes. But, you know, that's pretty much it. But like Doctor Strange, but the reason that I put Doctor Strange on top of my list, because out of all the MCU characters, I feel like him having his own standalone game would have the most potential, especially as something completely new and fresh. Maybe Scarlet Witch could also have one, either like as an alternate character for this game. Actually, you know what? Why don't Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch have a game together, kind of like how Resident Evil 2, you got Leon's story and Claire's story? That would be super awesome.
I would say, no, if that's the case, I would like to see Doctor Strange as well as Scarlet Witch and Iron Fist make like a magical version of, like, you know, Defenders or something like that, and just go from there. Because I even said that on my Twitter account. I said I would love to see a movie with Scarlet Witch, Doctor Strange, and Iron Fist from the show, and make a new super team or something like that.
Right, but one thing I definitely want to be perfectly clear: I don't want Strange, Witch, and Fist to have the same mechanics, but just have the avatar repainted as the different characters. I want them all to have their own unique mechanics, where they have specific skills that the other two don't. So like there are certain areas that you can only access as those specific characters, and story plots that you have to access through each different character. And there should be moments where you do like the characters would intersect, and so like you have to do like one part of a puzzle as this character or the other part of the puzzle as that character. I especially love it when there are puzzle components to games, like whether it's Bayonetta, Okami, Metroid, Zelda. Like, I love puzzles, even if it's not primarily a puzzle game.
Right.
And when it comes to magic, expect puzzles.
Right. Like I said, we'll see. I'm excited to know that this game is still alive, and I can't wait to see what is to come. I'm pretty sure the only reason why, and this is a rumor, I'm pretty sure one of the reasons why they delayed, we have not heard from this game, so maybe this game is gonna like tie in with what happened at the event in the Avengers Endgame. Maybe that's just a rumor that I heard. But you know what character I would honestly like to see? Captain Marvel and Brie Larson. Boys, I'm joking, Broken. I'm joking. I need to call you before you're like, what? I'm joking. No,
I wasn't gonna say what. I was just silently cringing.
No, I would like to see a Thor game done right. Okay, have it take place on Asgard, or matter of fact, do a Guardians of the Galaxy game with Thor, and you switch off it, like kind of like how Grand Theft Auto 5 switches off from character to character. You do it like that. I think that'd be really, really dope. But that's
you know what I would like to see in a standalone Thor game?
Go ahead.
Actually, goddamn visiting all 9 realms. 9 goddamn realms.
Well, like I said, if this game does go well with Square Enix, hopefully we see a Thor game, and there you have it. All right, and our last piece, and this wasn't on my show notes, but I wanted to actually discuss this. So E3 is literally around the corner. E3 officially begins June 10th with the conference. Well, June 9th with the conferences. You can go down to the Staples Center on the 11th, and yeah, and it's gonna last until Thursday, the 13th or the 14th. The 13th. So here's a question, Boken. I'm going to give this to you. What predictions? What games would you want to, aside from Bayonetta 3? Because I know that's what you're going to talk about. What other games do you predict? What games would you want to see at E3 and stuff like that? Go ahead.
Well, one game I know I will see more of is Pokemon Sword and Shield, which I'm excited for. I would love to see more info on Sword and Shield. I would like to see a trailer for the next DLC for Smash Ultimate, because we all know it ain't Sora or Goku.
Thank you.
Let's see. Games would I like to see? I would like to see another Okami game. Like, I'm playing Okami right now for the Switch. I would love to see a sequel. Or if they do a trailer for Bayonetta 3, I would love to see an Okami-themed skin. Like if she has like a spear weapon in the game, like in the Okami skin, like her spear weapon would turn into a paintbrush. That'd be super dope. Let's see. I would love a new Castlevania game. Probably. Because, like I started playing Castlevania again from the beginning. It's pretty fun. No, GC, no one's gonna be kissing your grits, but you can be kissing Nintendo's grits. Let's see, and again, like some games that are unlikely to have trailers, but I would like to see to have trailers. Like in my dreams would be a remake of. What's it called? A remake of Bouncers, Drakengard, and it would be nice to have a new Sonic game that's actually good.
All right then. I would say this. Goddamn, I'm tired. Okay, I would say this. If there's some games that I would like to see happen, or like see like an announcement or just a little discussion about it. Obviously, I'm gonna say Metroid Prime 4. That's my first one because I do understand why Nintendo decided to delay Metroid Prime 4 for a lot of reasons. So I understand. I just want to get a quick update on how the game's production is going. Another game I would like. This is a dream that I would like to see. I would like for Rockstar during the Microsoft press conference to announce LA Noire 2. Like that's. Dude, I've been on LA Noire for a while now. I need LA Noire 2. Like, no excuses. You have the power. You have the money. Let's get LA Noire 2 off the ground, people. That's all I have to say about that. I want to know a little bit more about Beyond Good and Evil 2. Because, again, the last trailer was at last year's E3. So I want to know how that game's going. I want to know how close is Ubisoft getting to actually confirming when the game's going to come out. Hopefully we get an actual confirmed date for Shenmue, since Shenmue was supposed to come out earlier this year but got delayed for later this year. I would also like to see maybe a Dark Horse, maybe a little bit of Samurai Showdown being shown at E3, maybe a little Death Stranding, so I can understand what in the blue hell is going on, because I still don't understand what the hell is going on in Death Stranding, even after watching that goddamn trailer for 8 long minutes. I still don't understand what I'm supposed to be looking at. Also, I mean, on the show floor, obviously, I'm predicting that there's going to be more competitions to win some of those gaming chairs. I already know that Twickle, which is a which is a streaming platform that I actually was helping out, like beta test, and hopefully they do launch their OBS style Streamlabs thing this year. Hopefully I get to see those guys there. Hopefully I get to run into some people that I've met at last year's E3. So King Vader, JD Witherspoon's son, JD Witherspoon Jr. I know Ace and Black Hokage will be there. I know I'm gonna run into Max Simmons and Kenny and freaking Steve and stuff. On some games, I really hope really hope we'll see some gameplay for the Avengers game. In my honest opinion, I'm more excited about what we're gonna learn about this Avengers game than anything related to the Final Fantasy VII game. Don't get me wrong, Final Fantasy VII is a dream come true to a lot of people. This remake is finally happening. They're gonna shed some light about the production and what to expect since the game is quote unquote episodic. That's why I say it's in quotes, because I know a lot of people like to argue with people about, like, it's not episodic. I'm like, okay, cool.
Allegedly
it's episodic. Okay, but I'm more excited about the Avengers game because this is one of the few brand new IPs that Square Enix has had in a while. And because this is the first time Square Enix is getting their hands on a Marvel licensed game or whatever. I could care less about Final Fantasy VII. I'm more excited about this new IP they got. Okay. Also, Bethesda, I want a goddamn apology the moment you do your conference. I expect a full-on apology for the bullcrap you did with Fallout 76, and don't even get me started about what's going on with the Rage 2. How you're trying to get people to play online instead of offline. I don't even want to get into that right now, okay? But I want you to apologize to every nigga that you ripped off from Fallout 76 when that game came out last year. Everyone. No excuses,
brothers
bro.
Already bought your game. Let them do whatever they want with their copy of the game. That game is now their copy of their game is now their property. If it's on a disc, they can eat it and then shit it out if they wanted to, because it's their property. Don't dictate to them what they do with it.
Yeah. I'm also excited to get GC's money because I'm gonna win this bet when the Nintendo Direct comes out and they show that Sora or Goku are not gonna be in the game. I'm gonna proudly
especially Goku.
Especially Goku. I'm gonna proudly take that $40 off your hands, boy, and I'm going to go probably give me something to drink. And by drink, I'm probably gonna buy me one of those C4 cans so I can drink that, because I know it's gonna be a long 3 days. Right.
And also logistically, be a real problem if they did suddenly have Goku in the game.
What's up?
Like, if they include Goku in the game, people are going to start demanding they add other anime characters into the game, and maybe even like Superman, because you got the whole Superman versus Goku thing, and then Nintendo's going to have to start adding like Marvel, DC, Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers all into Smash Bros. And now it's like you're not going to be able to be like a Smash game. The whole point is to be like an invitational Nintendo characters only party with some third party characters.
Right. Like I said, there's gonna be. I will address this. There's gonna be 4 slots. I don't know who's gonna be in those slots, but I damn sure know that's not gonna be a Street Fighter or freaking Kingdom Hearts Square Enix character. the best you're gonna get is like Leon, maybe Virgil or something like that. But yeah,
I would love it.
Another
If Dante
game
or Amaterasu would
That too.
would be one of those slots.
Another game that I would like to see, hopefully announced, because it was announced last year. When is this new Battletoads game coming out? I think it's time to get a little bit more detail about what's going on with that game. Just overall, I think it's time for a lot of the games that are supposed to be coming out this year. We need some details on that. Hopefully we get some more answers come E3. And
Oh, you know, it'd be some other possible characters that would take up those slots for
What's
Smash. Knights from Knights and I from Super Monkey Ball. I mean, I don't remember either of them as trophies in the game, so that means that they might be like. I mean, like if someone in the comments wants to prove me wrong, like and say like what their spirit number is, I'd love to see that. But I think like it could also be Knights and which are both Sega characters if I remember correctly, and they both did appear in what's it called, Sonic Riders. So you know, it is possible they could have a Nintendo, they could be like cameos in Smash. So like, who knows? Just some possible other ideas that are definitely not Goku or Sora.
I'll also say this. I'm gonna chop it up right here. We already know there's gonna be a Resident Evil 3 remake, so if Capcom announces a Resident Evil 3 remake, I'm not gonna be surprised. Hopefully it's gonna look as good as the new Resident Evil 2 remake that came out earlier this year. So that's just me. That's pretty much all I have. I mean, there's a lot of games that I would want there to be announcements for and stuff, but we'd be here all day. But those are the main ones that I really want to see some information on. Hopefully we get more updates on like what do you call it? Hopefully we get some more updates once again on Beyond Good and Evil 2, as well as Metroid Prime 4. I'm falling asleep. I ain't going front. I thought I was about to start stuttering. I had to wake myself up. Maybe Capcom can give us Capcom vs SNK 3. Hopefully. Yeah. That's all I got for my show notes. Bouken, you got anything else to say before we wrap things up?
No, just wish me luck on my finals tomorrow.
Alright then. Well, by the time this comes out, I'm pretty sure you'll be done with your final, so.
Yeah.
Anyways, that is pretty much it, guys. Thank you very much. This is episode 74 of the ScrubClub Game Podcast. As always, the two men left are the two men standing. So, Bokenkabuto, I'm gonna let you take the floor. What's your closing statement for episode 74 of the ScrubClub Game Podcast? Go.
My closing statement is one, make sure you don't interrupt your friends. That makes you look like a total asshole, and you're not always aware of it. But other than that, peace and love to all y'all, and you know, let's see what happens at E3.
And my closing comment is, yeah, guys, we are about roughly a week away from E3, and it's gonna be dope. I will say this right now. Be on the lookout. We're gonna try and get as many interviews done with a lot of the indie developers at E3, because it's gonna be different this year at E3. Because again, we're three of the biggest AAA companies and publishers are not going to be there this year. So hopefully the format changes and we get to talking to these indie developers, because they need some love too. So
yeah, hopefully it will be less of a con and more of an expo.
Exactly. And with all that being said, guys, yeah, man, that's pretty much all I got. I'm tired, and yeah, I still got some alcohol in my system, so I kind of want to finish this up. So until then, guys, y'all know what to do. Email us at ScrubClubGameBookies@gmail.com. That's ScrubClubGameBookies@gmail.com for questions, comments, search, advice, and business inquiries. We'll do business with you indie folks out there. Want to find us on Facebook and Twitter, type in ScrubClub Game. Bam! ScrubClub Game is all up in yo home. Don't worry, guys. We're going to be updating the YouTube page. I know we're about a few episodes behind. Our homie GC is in the midst of finals, and he's trying to get all that done so we can get more of these episodes and we keep crack-lacking. As well, YouTube page, ScrubClub Gaming, and find us on our home base, soundcloud.com/ScrubClub Gaming. That's soundcloud.com/ScrubClub Gaming, as well as googleplay.com/ScrubClub Gaming, because that's where we put up the rest of the episodes and stuff. Now you want to get a hold of any of us, you want to surprise critique, top, find your boy Reckless Fox, Twitter, Instagram, the Reckless_Fox. Find me on my YouTube page, Reckless_Fox, and find all my latest gaming content on Twitch.tv/RecklessFox. If I'm not holding down the Southtown region flex and Geeks Howard style, we're going to go over to Angel Grove, California. BoukenKabuto, where can they find you?
You can find me at twitch.tv/BoukenKabuto. You can find me on Instagram at chrono_justice_cosplay. And Yummy Snowflake, don't worry, you could still watch us from the beginning on SoundCloud. And even if you show up late, I'm glad you showed up, period.
Alright then, with all that being said, guys, thank you very much. We greatly appreciate the lively crowd. As always, thank y'all. We love it. This is episode 74. We're roughly 26 episodes away from syndication. So, for all you would-be warriors out there on YouTube, y'all are looking for a new gaming podcast to become part of an MCN, let us know. Hit us up. Facebook, ScrubClub Gaming Bookings at gmail.com. But until then, guys, as always, this is Reckless Fox. Peace out, bless up, and keep our working things $20 or less. And we all bid you an adieu. Goodbye, mwah, and good night. Bang. Deuces.